Hello, welcome to the Lemon Curry Saucy Puppet Show. I am not Lemon Curry. Lemon Curry is a sadistic madman who's trapped me here and is forcing me to watch cartoons against my will. I realize that might not sound like such a terrible thing in retrospect, but I have a tape here that can explain my situation a little bit better.
Greetings, applicant. I am Lemon Curry, man of many hats. It has come to my attention that you have recently applied for our animation internship. As you may or may not know, I am a very, very wealthy man. Plenty of moolah. And as such, gaining my riches and fortunes left me very little of a childhood of which to speak. Therefore, I am leaving it up to you to watch cartoons on my behalf. The good professor shall tell you and guide you whether you shall do reviews. You should report to me at least once a week and give me your findings. I thereby hope to understand what the joy found in cartoons is. I thank you for your time, and we shall communicate later.
Which brings me to the second involved party, the professor. His full name is Professor Gunther von Heinlich. He's the one that's responsible for sending me movies week after week. And let's just say his selection is iffy. In fact, the first time I met him was kind of strange as well. Hello? Where am I?
Oh, good, you're awake. You're the applicant for the animation internship, yeah?
Yeah, last thing I remember was signing a contract and... Did I pass out?
Yeah, sorry about that. We had to drag you for safety and protocol reasons. You see, your serial number is 743700N. You'll be known as the Toon, and your job from here on out is to watch cartoons for a Mr. Lemon Curry.
Okay, but that still doesn't explain why I'm tied to a chair with a bag over my head.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. I'll send down one of my assistants to help you out.
So I guess from here on out, I am to be referred to as the Toon. I understand their need for anonymity on this project. I'll grant them that. And I'm getting paid, so whatever. So let's begin with our first review, The Phantom Treehouse. So The Phantom Treehouse is a 1984 made-for-television animated film produced in Australia by a man named Paul Williams. Williams' further credits included similar animated features such as The Black Planet, The Land of Never Was, and The Steam-Driven Adventures of Riverboat Bill. However, in the long-term spectrum of things, he's little more than a blip on the animation radar. The only reason I happen to know about it is because it was shown on the Disney Channel back in the 80s. The main storyline in The Phantom Treehouse is about a boy and his dog. No, not like that. Not the kind of Disney I meant. The movie begins with the boy Tom and his dog Rags being pestered by the girl next door, Lucy.
G'day, Tom. What's going on? Monsters. Monsters? Yeah, monsters. One just jumped out of my bedroom window. Didn't you see it? That wasn't a monster. It was just that dumb dog of yours. And sometimes it tries to eat my cash. That monster wouldn't be interested in your crummy cat.
It's at that point that Lucy's cat decides to make his grand appearance. Rags chases Lucy's cat, Lucy chases Rags, and Tom chases after Lucy.
And they never, ever saw him again. The end.
This leads Tom to catch up with Rags, and they both go and venture down into the sewers after Lucy.
Lucy must be a lot braver than I thought. This place gives me the creeps. What? What's that noise? Well, let's look at the positive side of this. At least I won't need a bath tonight.
Yeah, because who would need a bath after going swimming in raw sewage? So after getting flushed, Tom and Rags end up in the deep woods, where they continue their search for Lucy, who's now gone missing. This eventually leads them to the treehouse, And their curiosity gets the better of them when they decide to go up and explore the dilapidated old structure.
Lucy! Lucy, you aren't in there, are you? No, she wasn't in there.
Yeah, if anything, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo, these two are not.
What have you found there? A trapdoor. Lucy! Lucy! Are you down there? Tom! Help me! I need help!
Yes, Tom, you're going to help her whether you like it or not. And after being knocked into the trapdoor and falling down a mysterious tunnel, our heroic duo awakes to find themselves in a strange and unusual new world. A world full of transparent birds and talking trees.
She was hungry. She was hungry!
As it turns out, this tree happens to be a bit of a nice guy.
Who ever heard of a dog that couldn't talk?
But you said it was ridiculous to expect a dog to talk.
So what? You said it was ridiculous for a tree to talk, but I'm talking, aren't I?
Yes, I suppose so.
He mentions that he saw Lucy in passing and gives Tom a clue as to where he should go.
No, don't be hasty. I may just have a little hint for you.
All right then, what's the hint?
It may help you if you, follow the sound of the bagpipes.
So Tom and Rags beat a path over the hills until they reach a pirate ship. But these aren't just any pirates. These be Scottish pirates.
I hate these guys.
Led by the most fearsome man ever to sail the seven seas, the cruel Black Jack McGregor. Aye, and there be no worse punishment I can think of than to hear Black Jack McGregor sing.
When I was 3, my father said to me, with my trusty pistol and my cutlass, to make your way through the perils of today, with my trusty pistol and my cutlass. There are one or two things it's essential that you learn as the pages of the book of life you turn. So I study the philosophy of pillage, loot, and burn. With my trusty pistol and my cutlass, with a yo-ho-ho-ho-ho, and a yo-ho-ho-ho-ho, and a yo-ho-ho-ho-ho-ho, with the trusty pistol and my cutlass.
What with all the scurvy and dysentery, I never figured pirates to be such a musical lot. They even have choreographed dance numbers. So while they've been parked next to the shore, they've decided to do a little fishing and have brought up a bunyip. What's a bunyip, you might ask? Well, a bunyip in Australian mythology is this monstrous, terrifying creature that dwells in swamps and eats people whole. But for the sake of this movie, he's been turned into a happy, somewhat dopey sidekick.
What's wrong with the dog? Can't he speak for himself?
Oh no, he can't talk. We've already been through this with a talking tree.
Talking tree? Who ever heard of a talking tree?
Although the bunyip seems to have more pressing matters on his mind.
You're the first real bunyip I've ever seen. I couldn't let those crummy pirates eat you.
Yes, just as well. Since Ma Barker's Bunyip Cookbook was printed, it's been open season on bunyips.
It's a cookbook!
As it turns out, the bunyip too has stumbled across Lucy, saying that the pirates have taken her on board their ship. Unclear as to the reason Tom wants to pursue, but the pirates beat a hasty retreat. And before Tom can even begin to formulate a plan, enter yet another side character, Professor Crankwhistle.
I'm Professor Crankwhistle, the great inventor. And who might you gentlemen be,
Well, this is Rags, my dog, who can't talk. And this is, Mr. Bunyip.
G'day, mate. Well, bless my heart and soul, a talking bunyip.
Seems to be there's an awful lot of people that don't believe other things can talk in this movie. The professor's airship is broken down, and Tom has exactly the parts that he needs. MacGuffin-y. And without any further plot delay, the professor deduces that the only place they could have taken Lucy is to the pirates' hideout on Fire Island.
It's raining men! Hallelujah, it's raining men!
No, not like that. As it turns out, Fire Island is an island covered entirely in volcanoes and a pretty ballsy place to have your pirate's lair. With the advantage of an airship, Tom and company arrive before Jack and his crew and find out what his plans for Lucy are.
You insist your name is Lucy, but now for the proof of your real identity. Princess Diana of Bongo Island, a royal blue blood if ever there was one, and my future daughter-in-law. Well, it's only right that my son, Snifflepuss McGregor, should marry a princess.
Lucy is vehemently opposed to this idea, and it's at this point that there's a small tremor that distracts the pirates long enough for Tom and Rags to swoop in and save Lucy. The kids steal the pirates' longboat and start paddling to safety. Lucy is more than relieved to see Tom.
Tom, you saved me. You're magnificent. You're just as brave as those dumb heroes you're always reading about.
But it's out of the frying pan and into the fire as the two get caught in a massive hurricane.
When they started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost.
After having their ship dashed to pieces by the hurricane, the kids wake up on the shores of Bongo Island, apparently having been rescued by the Bunyip once again. They meet some of the colorful locals of Bongo Island, are promptly arrested and brought to see the Queen.
Oh, rat, just when I was in a creative mood. Nobody around here realizes what it's like to be a great artiste and suffer from these continual interruptions.
A talented artist in her own right, the Queen also has an extensive knowledge of the art history on the island.
There you are, up there.
That portrait, my dear, is 300 years old. Princess Diana was one of my ancestors.
So granted, it's one gigantic case of mistaken identity, that still doesn't stop Blackjack McGregor from his pursuit of Lucy. They're forced to give up Lucy once again as a bargaining chip to spare the village. Then Professor Crankwhistle shows up once again and helps the kingdom concoct a retaliation plan for the pirates' attack. The kingdom's army follows the pirates back to their lair on Fire Island. There's a full-on attack, and a cache of gunpowder ignites, sending the whole island into a meltdown. Everybody but the children are able to escape. Kaboom! And they get blown back into reality. The kids run home, but their parents are a bit skeptical of such a tall tale, so Tom and Lucy decide to bring them to see the treehouse. The treehouse is gone, completely destroyed by a storm, and it's a bit of a sad scene for the kids.
Oh, come on, you could never have proven that tale.
Maybe you're right. Now that the treehouse is gone, it all seems like a dream to me. No, it was true. It was.
Oh, why don't you believe him for a change? I mean to say, exactly what proof would it take to convince you?
Oh, surprise! The Bunyip is real! Validating this whole story as being true. And so that about wraps up my review on the Phantom Treehouse. It's not a terrible movie, it's actually quite good. If you ever happen to run across a copy, I suggest giving it a watch. So until next time, I'm the Toon, watching cartoons for Lemon Curry. The only thing I can't figure out is why it's called the Saucy Puppet Show, because I haven't seen any puppets.
Why, a puppet show without puppets? That's crazy talk.